Dan Hooker's out, Rafael Fiziev is in, and I needed to get the word out. I needed to let people know in the community for those people who may not have known. So put it on the community bulletin board, passed by a couple of more locations that I found to be pretty fitting. But what about you? What did you do to get the word out, huh? Did you let people know? Did you spread the news? Is it good news to you, too? Are you happy with this? I personally would have preferred if they were to just push the fight to be later, but then I don't really know what we would make for our co-main event. I did my part as a citizen and I got the word out. We're back again. More fights. Okay. So, UFC 313 had a pretty monumental change. Okay, as we all know, it was supposed to be a 5-round death match between Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje, but no. Dan Hooker is injured. His little paws aren't working. I hope that Dan gets better soon, but I was devastated. I don't know about you, but I needed some Zoloft to cure my depression as a result. Okay. This is the structure of Zoloft. I'll just leave that there. The magnifying glass for this fight is definitely on the main event. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Most people think that this is Alex's biggest test, and we're going to run through. We're going to break it down. My poster skills were a little lacking. Not a professional poster maker, but you know what? It had the important things. It had flash, okay? People would see it. And it had the details, okay? The things that people need to know. Dan Hooker's injured, the fight's rebooked, and it's no longer 5 rounds. And I wish that it was. But you know what? We'll dive more into that in a second. But let's go over it. Let's break down the card. We'll start at the main event, and we'll go back through the prelims. And we'll see what we have. What do we have? Champion versus number 1 is an obvious fight to see, no matter what weight class you're in, but this in particular is one that people think will be a real test. The favorite is bouncing back and forth on the betting lines. Shout out to Ramadan, okay? Shout out Ramadan Mukbarak, okay? Shout out Ramadan. We got 3 other top 10 battles on this card. We have a number 3 versus a number 11, okay, fill-in with Fiziev. Last minute, but still, that's a pretty good. We have number 13 versus unranked, same division, more lightweight scraps, and that sounds about right. And then we have, you might have noticed, number 5 versus unranked. But then you see that it's the heavyweight division, and you see that it's Curtis Blaydes, and you think, okay, fine, that's how they do him. And then we have another top 15 versus an unranked. Pretty classic. Lots at stake. Great matchups. So many great matchups, actually. A lot of sneaky good ones. Really, though, this graphic says it all as far as what is this night all about. Many people, it's all about Poatan. This is Poatan's world. He's done a lot in his short time in the UFC. He's a seasoned combat sports professional. At the age of 37, he has definitely done a lot, but he's new in the UFC still. But already 4 title fights and 4 title fight wins specifically in 330 days. That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Yes, pretty close to one of the shortest time spans in the history of the UFC. He's got a crazy high striking accuracy. I mean, oh my word. That's in the light heavyweight division specifically. He's got a couple of middleweight bouts to throw in there, but in the light heavyweight division, 67.2. Oh my, what? That's crazy. So he is a sniper. Yes, and so it's Poatan's world to many of us. Poatan, what a guy. Handsome, charismatic, deadly, gives Riot Girl vibes. Maybe you don't. Let me know if you think he also is rebel girl. So anyway, he found martial arts as a way to stay straight, as many people do. A way to have good habits, keep staying good. And he started out as a kickboxing Roxy boxer, wow, leg kicks. He's extremely diverse in his striking. That is one of the key factors of his game is he will hit you anywhere. He will kick you in the legs. He will kick you in the stomach. He will punch you right in the head. He'll do it all. He comes from Glory. Okay, Glory kickboxing. Wow. Okay, middle and light heavyweight both. Makes sense for the frame. And overall, 62% striking accuracy. That is so high. Been training at Teixeira MMA for a while. Alongside Glover Teixeira, of course, and Polinio Cruz, his BFF. He isn't exactly naturally in that photo. He was in that corner that night, a picture above. And so that's why I put his face over there. Just because he was there, he was there. Alex was pretty much brought into the UFC to take down Izzy. And that has a lot to do with his really quick rise to the title. Not because he doesn't possess the skill, but also because they wanted to get him there. Because it was looking like Izzy needed a challenge at that time. Today, he's on a 4-fight TKO streak, okay? And he is a TKO man in general as an elite striker. 10 of his 12 wins professionally. Oh, my. And as we mentioned, this will be his 4th title defense. And many people think it's his biggest test. Oh, who is this big test? You already know. Oh my word. There he is. He's shy. He's handsome. He's sweetie. And he's deadly. These two have a lot in common. Dagestan University, sports faculty, hello, education. Yes, he's learned. He comes from a grappling background, sure. Comes from Sambo, okay, wrestling base. But today, in today's age, in the past 10 years, really, he's a striker, primarily. So don't be racist. Don't be thinking that just because this man is from Dagestan, just because he's got a degree from Dagestan University, okay, just because his name is Magomed Ankalaev means that he's a wrestler. Wrong. No, he isn't. Well, he can, but he chooses not to. He would prefer to strike. And he's nearly perfect. Spoiler alert, I'm biased. He started off the worst way possible in his UFC career. I mean, submission loss to gatekeeper Paul Craig with 1 second to go. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But ever since then, oh my gosh, talk about a streak, girl. Yes, he's on a 13-fight win streak right now. I mean, and he has faced a lot of fair competition, to say the least. It has been not an easy rise to the top. He's got some amazing takedown defense. Don't really feel like that's going to be relevant in this fight. Don't really feel like it's going to be relevant at all, but he has it. This fight, oh my gosh, this fight has me all smiles. I am so looking forward to this. I mean, this is two strikers. Again, don't be thinking that because he's from Dagestan that this is a striker versus a grappler and that's going to be the way that he has to win. I don't agree. I think that Ankalaev could win on the feet. I'd say it is clear that Alex has the edge there, but doesn't mean that it's not possible. Of course, they are very evenly matched. Alex may have a more diverse striking arsenal, but they still are both strikers, yes. And is Alex stronger? I think that's a big question. Perhaps this is true as well because, oh boy, are they both strong. They put people to night sleep, and they both can tear somebody's face up. One thing to note, though, is that Izzy is no knockout artist. And he slept Pereira pretty hard in 2023, so not too long ago, whereas Ankalaev has not been slept, has yet to be slept. Man, wouldn't that be an end though, right? But really, that's the only scratch on Alex. Not a lot of scratches. He's got a very, very strong game, and that's where his strong celebrity status largely comes from. He's also, very charismatic and fun, but he really puts on a show in there. And his willingness to game. Yeah. Quick rise to the top, though, for sure. Messed up Jamal Hill. Khalil Roundtree's face was so battered up and knocked out Yuri twice. Oh my. Defeated Yuri 2 times. But it has a lot of people thinking, why did we have to do Yuri twice? Why has it taken this long for Magomed Ankalaev to get his title shot? Maybe it's because he's shy. I think that his shyness does have a lot to do with it. And I do think that DC helping him learn how to be his own hype man and get the call out helped.
Yeah, like this. Alex, stop running away. Alex, stop running away. Say that all together.
Alex, stop
running away
running away
from me.
from me.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Many say that Pereira has done it all in the light heavyweight division. I don't agree. I would say that he has done a lot, but with that quick rise, there has been some unexplored talent to face, and I think the one thing that many of us, if not all of us, can agree on is this is the unexplored talent that we really want to see. It's going to be, oh my gosh, so technical, so high level, and scary. It's going to be frightening because both of them are super, super strong. So Ankalaev is younger, but he's the veteran. And so I wonder how that will come into play. But all in all, they are both deep veterans in combat sports, and I would say their veteran status competing is pretty even. Yes. But essentially the opposite stories. Ankalaev is not somebody that was propelled to the top by any means. It's been a claw and scratch. He's had to fight his way to the top. Whereas Pereira was kind of propelled there, but oh my, has he held his own, to say the least. They made Ankalaev fight Ion Cutelaba twice. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But he's here. He made it. He's here to play. So being that it's Ramadan and Ankalaev is a devout Muslim, some people think that this will negatively affect his performance given the fasting. He seems to think the opposite, that actually it will give him a spiritual edge. And I want to know what my Muslim friends think. What is your opinion about how Ramadan will affect Ankalaev? Do you think also that if he doesn't get it done, that people will use this as an excuse? Well, that's probably can't really ask that question now because it would depend on the nature of the loss, of course. But that is one curious thing. This is going to be a really tough, a really dangerous fight. Two people with lead in their hands. It's going to be great. So we have been looking forward to this for a while. I have been really hoping for this fight really since Alex made his move to light heavyweight. So really excited. That leads us to a complicated co-main event. We've been getting a lot of rebookings, but that's life. Justin Gaethje. You know him. He's the highlight. He's a boss man. He's TKO at heart. That is where he feels free. You know, BMF champ at one point. It's supposed to say former BMF champ, but you know, that belt isn't even based in a reality other than our perception, and we know that he is one of the BMF champs. Okay, that fight against Max Holloway is what we're coming out of. So former interim lightweight champ. Okay, he's done a lot. He's only faced really tough opposition, and he is an all-around athlete. Okay, even golf. Yeah, he does it all. Yeah, you heard. He's tied for the most fight of the night bonuses, tied with a couple people. Wow, 8 fight of the night bonuses. That is a tough accomplishment to get. And yeah, he makes it just look like it's in his DNA. Trevor Whitman, just got to say that, you know, Trevor Whitman is in his space. NCAA Division I wrestling. People forget this. People forget because he is very, very striky, because he really, really wants to tear your head off, and also because his movement's very good. He's an elite striker. He's not simply a brawler. They forget about the wrestling accolades. But you know what? He went to college to get away from the mines. That's where his wrestling really developed. And wow, what a guy. University of Northern Colorado Athletics Hall of Fame. So set himself up to be an incredible mixed martial artist and a lot of mental fortitude because, again, he didn't go to college because, guess I'll go to college. No, he went to college because he was escaping the mines, okay? Working in the mines is not good fun. Yes, found another life, got a bachelor's degree in human services. Yes, Justin Gaethje, I mean, wow. He has done so much. Backflipping off the cage is a representative of the fight of the night / year that's in his DNA. It's in his DNA. Can we bring back the slam KO? He's done that a few times. I want to see a slam KO again, okay? He can control the space well. But you never really know what he's going to do, which is why so many people are just biting their fingernails waiting to see this guy, because he can play it safe or he can put it all on the line and go face down on the canvas like last time. And his calf kicks, they're legendary. Many people know, from experience, how horrible it really is. And most people who have faced and felt a Gaethje calf kick will tell you Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. I didn't likey. Yes. And he was supposed to go against Dan Hooker, but he's going against a familiar foe. Rafael Fiziev. Also a top 15. But more importantly, last minute fill-in, who is thirsty. He is foaming at the mouth, I imagine, for this fight. Oh my goodness. Because it was a close one. This is a rematch. It was very, very close. It was Dana White's fight of the year, if that means anything to you, in 2023. Yes, foaming at the mouth, absolutely thirsty. He hasn't fought since 2023. He's really ready to get in there. It's been as a result of injury, but apparently, word on the street is that he's been better for a while. So they've been trying to get him a fight book, which is why I think he was ready to go for this, because he's been in good health and, practicing basically in camp. However, we're not getting 5 rounds. I don't like that. He is cuckoo. He has got that crazy in him. So, from their first meeting, it's clear that Rafael is a little bit more of a brawler by nature than Justin Gaethje. So they both are, they have the brawl in them, but Rafael really wants to just jump the go and get in there. And so I wonder how it will play this second time, if there will be a little bit more reservation on either end. I think that this fight needed to be 5 rounds and it's not, because I think that it's clear both of their cardio can hold up for that. And I wanted the same setup as with Dan Hooker, again, like a 5-round death match, like it's set up so that it doesn't go to decision. But it'll be great either way. Definitely a good choice. I wasn't really sure who I would have wanted. I'm perfectly happy with Rafael Fiziev, especially given how close their meeting was and how I'm banking on him really taking this seriously. He has so much more to lose. Okay, he lost the first time they met, and in general is trying to get some momentum back with people. Remind them that, hello, I'm here. Yes, what do you think? Who would you wanted to see? Okay. Who do you want to see? Is this the fight you wanted to see? Or perhaps did you want a different opponent for Justin Gaethje, or to push the fight until Dan Hooker was recovered? Many, many options though. Ilia Topuria? Lightweight to lightweight. So now we have, lightweight to lightweight. Jalen Turner, famously the tarantula, as I'm sure you've seen, I'm sure you've heard. He doesn't want to be asked about it anymore, about bringing the spider to the weigh-ins, and he will not be doing it in the future. I think that that's a good idea. Please do not bring any animals to the weigh-ins, unless it is a seeing eye dog or emotional support, which I guess you can have an emotional support spider. Why not? Dana White's Contender Series, but season 2. Okay, so not yesterday, kind of a while ago. Sometimes when you hear Dana White's Contender Series, you think, oh, new. 2018 though. He's a first round finisher. He is strikey. He's got the shoulders rolled over stance coming in to get you. He's a finisher in general. Yeah, 100% of his wins. He has never won via decision. Interestingly enough, professionally. He's lost via decision. He has not won via decision. Important. Coming off of a TKO loss to Moicano, forgivable. Never been submitted though. No. He's a skateboarder. Fun facts. Jalen Turner is, he's long. He's tall, he's length. Definitely moves forward though. And he's going against someone quite similar. Ignacio Antonio Bahamondes Carabantes. Hello, our Chilean friend. What is La Huala? Because I looked this up and I couldn't figure it out. All I found was a weird TV show. I don't think this is what he means. Maybe it is. Okay, let me know. Yes, our Chilean friend, following in his father's footsteps, who was also a kickboxer. And, after amassing a pretty impressive amateur record, he said, it's Miami time. I'm going to the US. And he went at the small age of 16 with no English in his pocket. I mean, talk about bravery. What a real one. He's a sweetie. Okay, sweetie alert. And an alert sweetie. Sweetie alerty, an alert sweetie. He's a spinner, and you got to be alert to be a spinner. You can't actually time a successful spinning wheel kick. We're talking one that will put somebody's lights out just on a whim. Most people miss those, and if they do connect, maybe it's not so much. Ignacio, oh no. He will spin you to the grave. That's why we love him. That's why he's on this main event going against Jalen Turner, who has been really successful in the UFC, because Ignacio, he's ready. Yes. And they are both diverse strikers. He hits the head, he hits the body, he hits the legs. Not a lot of work in the clinch, though. So a lot of work from space, using his space. Really long, super long limbs. He wants that TKO, though, but he can take it to decision. War. Oh my God. Yeah, he can definitely take a decision. He knows war. I have seen this man's face bloodied up a couple of times. So he's ready for that, and I love that. He is a performance of the night, 2-time winner, and he's barely even been in the UFC. So you know what kind of show he puts on. Both strikers, both super kickboxing, so using the legs. They both are going to be using their legs. Jalen doesn't really do ground, though. Bahamondes, Kama Ignacio does. Conventional versus southpaw. So that adds an extra layer of intensity when it comes to people who are looking for leg kicks to the head. So Ignacio is definitely, he's young, so offense as the best defense is kind of a young person's approach, but that is definitely his approach. He is offense as his defense. Like I said, willing to bleed. He's got a crazy highlight reel. Check it out. We're talking front kick KOs. That was the Dana White Contender Series that got him the spotlight. We're talking spinning wheel kicks more than once. And he'll choke you out. Yes. Very, very excited for this one. It's going to be hell. It's one of those matches that you're going to hear some sounds and you may think to yourself, wow, the mental fortitude to be hit with a baseball bat. A lot of crazy sounds, I think, from this fight. From both the leg kicks, legs hitting, etc., and then from the booth. We're going to get a lots of woo-woos from there as well. Next, we have a veteran. So there we have some previous fight, some experience versus less experience, but here we have a young versus a veteran, so young in the game, and one of there's a couple of super youngsters on this card. So Amanda Lemos going against Yasmin Lucindo, strawweight, tinies. Amanda Lemos, you know her. You know her because she's got hands. Veteran, veteran, strikey. Super, super strikey. She is a straight puncher. She's going to be going in boxing. She went on a 5-fight win streak at one point in the UFC, so really picked up some momentum, has done well, but has also kind of been up and down. Has had some pretty tough fights, but again, always against tough competition. That's why she's top 5. She is one of the few people in such a small weight class who can put people down consistently. Not just one knockdown. We got a handful. So not just finishing people, but knocking them down. That's a big one too. I think that's how you can really discern someone's power, is not just from finishing the fight, but if they're putting people on their ass a handful of times before then, right? And watch out for that left hand. She is 3-2 in her last 5. So overall on the positive end, but yeah, we've had some up and down, but we're maintaining that top 5 position, and she is going against a young and hungry, quirky Yasmin Lucindo, number 7. So she is right behind Amanda Lemos. She's trying to crack that top 5. Oh, yes. She's got a front neck tattoo. So pain is a hobby. Even better, her tattoo says, "Be yourself." I can F with that. Youngster, 23, always smiling. 4-1 in the UFC, and coming off of a split decision win, though, a definite war against Marina Rodriguez. She's making her way. So that would be a real great scrap. That'll be a real test of experience versus young hungry. Can't wait to see it. Who do you think? Who do you have in favor? I think Yasmin Lucindo is going to have the biggest power in front of her that she has yet. How will she deal? I don't know. That will be some strong strawweights. A pair of ladies who you might forget how small they are because of how strong they are. My. Lots of strength. Then we're making our way to what will open our main card, I believe. We have King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. A bit of a setup fight. Setups aren't always what happens, but we know the UFC puts on some setups. King Green, you know him. Bobby Green, perhaps, is how you do know him because he was once Bobby Green, but he changed his name in 2023. He is a veteran, to say the least. I think that he is the biggest veteran on this card. He's been a pro since 2008. Former King of the Cage champ. Hello, King. Strikeforce to UFC pipeline, if you are familiar with that recruitment process. He is a performance of the night, fight of the night type of guy. 3 and 4 of each, respectively. Most significant strikes in the UFC lightweight division's history. So we're talking activity on all ends. Nearly 2,000 strikes. That is the 4th most in all of the UFC. Yeah, I think we can confidently say that this is the biggest veteran on the card. Active striker. He has submission skills. He knows business, i.e. decision. So he can handle it all, King Green. He can handle it all. He's been up, he's been down, 32 and 16. We've been up, we've been down, but he can handle it all. And he's got some really sharp takedown defense, 74%. So really he's bringing it all. So he's a striker, good takedown defense. We know he's a gamer. We know this because of the output of the strikes. And because there's really no scenario we haven't seen him in. He's been everywhere. And again, they have him against a young opponent on a hot streak. That's what they did to him last time, and they're doing it again. Mauricio Ruffy. I'm sure you know his name. He is of the Fighting Nerds crew. We are getting a lot of fighting nerds. It's because there's a lot of them. And it's because they're doing well. Not all of them at the same rate, of course, but here we go. Hype Train. 3rd UFC appearance, so yeah, not exactly been a pro since 2008, 11, and 1. All right. This fight is a setup. This man will exclusively be looking for the kill, though. He's not a big wrestler, not a big takedowner. He will be trying to strike it out, maybe a little overzealous about it. His last fight was against a short notice opponent. Okay, so he has been set up for success, and he is being set up again, but I think that this is a big test. I don't think this is a setup where it's necessarily in Mauricio Ruffy's favor, although he is the younger fighter. He's coming with a little bit more momentum as well. So very, very curious about that fight, about how another fight stacked against King Green will go. Will he come out on top? Because he's no stranger to being the upset. How's he going to deal with Mauricio Ruffy's very awkward style? That should be an awkward striking match. Very active, awkward. That's how I would put it. And Mauricio Ruffy has his name tattooed on the front. Cuckoo? That's Cuckoo. Cuckoo. Yeah, we made it. We made it to the prelims. Okay, we made it to the prelims, and here we are, another setup. Okay, this one I'm offended by, though. This is the kind of setup that makes me upset. Upsetty spaghetti. So, heavyweight, devastating division, as we all know. Curtis Blaydes in the top 5. Who do they have him going against? Oh, just someone who's not ranked, making their UFC debut. Okay. Let's get into that when we cover our men. Let's cover our men. Okay, who are our men? My man, Curtis Blaydes, Curtis Razor Blaydes. That is the best nickname on the card. He has been up, he has been down. He is from Illinois. Can we get some snaps for Illinois? Can we get some snaps for Naperville? Have you been? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever been to Naperville? It's kind of a cute little quaint place. It's actually a really, really affluent place. I would not call it quaint. It is living good in Naperville. Anyway, Curtis Blaydes is a wrestler. He's a takedowner. Okay, usually at least 1 takedown per round. That's a lot of activity. He is in great shape. You can look at that wingspan. That wingspan is representative of this man's power, both in the hands and his ability to carry you and weigh you down like a wet blanket. But because he mostly wants to knock you out. He uses his wrestling, but that's it. He's using it as an avenue. 42% of this guy's strikes are on the ground. Yikes. For context, that's a lot. That is a lot of strikes, like total strike percentage to be taking place on the ground. So, he takes you down, rushes you to the floor, and then uncorks. Yes, absolutely. The UFC has not given this man an easy ride. No, they have not. And I would say that he is being pushed out, maybe not out, but down or away since Tom avenged the knee injury loss that he had to Curtis Blaydes, since he was able to remove that from his record. I think just the heavyweight division is causing us all a lot of angst with John Jones, and Curtis Blaydes, I guess, doesn't make it less complicated. I love him very much, and I do not want to see him go away, but I suspect that is where this setup is coming from, and they have given him a lot of tough matchups, and he has seen some really tough damage. It is a really brutal watch to see the TKO loss to Lewis. Oof. He did recover to get back in the win column after that, and I feel like he looked like the Curtis Blaydes I know. Some people look different after that, but woof. Heavyweights, please take care of yourself. Just how it is. And they got him going against this athletic young man, Rizvan Kuniev. Dana White's Contender Series. Here he comes for his debut. Pretty high striking accuracy. Has only lost via decision, which is kind of, classic heavyweight. He had to go on Dana White's Contender Series twice, though. Okay, so I feel for this guy. I do want to see him get a good shot in life, because imagine winning TKO style and Dana White says, nah, sorry, bud. And you got to come and do it again. Yeah. And he does. And he has not lost since 2015. And he has never been taken down. Okay. That's a setup. Yeah, he's sent in to be an executioner. This is a setup. Curtis Blaydes relies on his wrestling in many of the scenarios that he is in to get it done. He uses his wrestling a lot. A lot of the strikes are on the ground. And they're putting up him against somebody who is never taken down and hasn't lost since 2015. This is the setup. Respect Rizvan, but I really don't want to see it go your way. I think I want to see Curtis Blaydes hold on to that number 5 spot. I mean, what are we doing? Who put this together? I'm not loving it. Let me know what you think. Is this a setup? Again, I don't think just because it's a setup that means that it's like, oh, Rizvan's he's gonna win, or that it's unweighted just because it's a setup. Same thing with Bobby Green and Mauricio Ruffy. I think that it's maybe more even than some people might think, but it's a setup nonetheless. So, heavyweights, right? Lots at stake. Lots at stake. Your career can end after a devastating heavyweight moment, especially. Well, moving down, going small. We went big and we're going back down. So, the Fearless. Yes, we have a match between two really young people, some more super youngsters on the card. So, Joshua Van from Myanmar, the Fearless. He's got Blessed tattooed on him with the wings. Max Holloway, anybody? His only loss is to Charles Johnson, though it was a pretty nasty KO. That says TO. Okay, it's supposed to say KO. It was a pretty nasty KO. Not just TKO, and he went down. But has come back since. Josh is looking good. Overall, really solid record of 12-2. He's got really good takedown accuracy and defense, 64% and 81% respectively. And he's a high-volume striker. Like Bobby Green, he goes in there and he puts the output on. And he's pretty comfortable in the decision war. He can make that happen. He doesn't need to finish you because of the output. He'll beat you on the scorecards. And he is exciting. He is an exciting fighter. And he's going in a short notice opponent. So he was actually supposed to be going against Bruno Silva. But lo and behold, Ray is here. Ray to Syria. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly. But Ray is here. He is here. He is young as well. So 23 and 22. I think he's the youngest person on the card. Youngies. And he's stepping in for number 13. So it was supposed to be number 13 versus number 15. Pretty classic. This ain't so bad either, though, because Joshua Van is at that 15 rank and makes sense. Ray is a headhunter. but he does have a wrestling background. So he can get you with the submission, and out of his finishes, it's split between both of those. He will body triangle you and uncork. So a lot of his wrestling, almost like Curtis Blaydes, he uses as a way to get those strikes down right on you. His dad is also a fighter, so following in dad's footsteps. Flyweights will fly. That's all I gotta say. Flyweights are gonna fly in this one. Young. I think the youth energy will be brought in this matchup for sure. Are we gonna see offense as the best defense? I think so. Next, we have Bruno Pereira versus my husband, Armen Petrosyan, and no, he is not, and I need to stop calling him that because he has an actual wife, and I respect her. My goodness. Love him, though. Superman versus the Hulk. Okay? Come on. I know. I already know that this isn't one of the matchups that you're just so crazy about on this card. Okay, I know. But that nickname, like conjunction, those nicknames, Superman, Hulk. Okay. It's not that big of a deal, but it better be good because of that. I think someone's going to go down, though. These guys are both really reckless. So who are they? Reckless fighter number 1, Armen Petrosyan, Superman, Muay Thai background. Gold and silver medal in the IFMA World Muay Thai Championship. Dana White's Contender Series. That's where we picked him from. Heart, coming off of a brutal KO, spinning back fist, shout out Sharp Bullet. 2024 in general was a bad year. He had a submission loss as well to Rodolfo Vieira. Yeah. He has a lot of wild looping punches, leans forward a bit, little overzealous. So he's a very, very good striker, but you can see his shoulders are rolled forward, classic Muay Thai, but a little loopy, a little overzealous. But good news, he's going against someone else who's overzealous. Bruno Pereira, the Hulk. Heavy hands on this man. He has existed entirely in round 1, pretty much, in his professional career. 4 out of 5 of his UFC bouts. Both wins and losses, okay? But he just lives in round 1. 11 out of 14 of his fights in total. I guess round 1 is where he belongs. And only one of them is a loss. So I don't mean to say like, oh, it's up and down, but it's where he belongs. It's where he likes. Spinning back elbow, okay? He's a spinner. We have a couple spinners on here. Are they trying to set something up here, though? Being that Bruno has a really crazy spinning back elbow knockout, you can see him walking away. Are they trying to recreate what happened to Armen Petrosyan having just been KO'd from a spin himself? That's just a conspiracy. But Bruno also swings big, like Armen Petrosyan. Swings big. Hands can go down. And he's coming off of a sub-loss. Both guys coming off of a loss, both trying to get their way back in the win column. Should be reckless, should be a little cuckoo, crazy. Hands will go down. Hands will go down when they should not be going down. But what can we say? Last fight on the prelims, Alex Morono, the Great White. I know he means Great White Shark, but for some reason it just doesn't sound right. He's a boxer. Rumor has it he was inspired by The Matrix to start MMA, unconfirmed. You know him, okay? You know Alex Morono. He is an LFC to UFC pipeline. 2016 is when he made his UFC debut. He has over 1,000 head strikes in the UFC, a credit to his boxing background. He is 3-3 in his last 6, and he's coming off of 2 losses, so getting desperate right now. Last bout was a loss to D-Rod. Shout out to D-Rod, one of my faves. Most of his wins and losses are via decision. It's just most of his fights in general. He's got a strong chin. Performance of the night and fight of the night 1 time each, so sometimes can be a bit of a hesitant, a bit of a calculated striker. Never been submitted. And he's going against Carlos Leal. LFA PFL. This is his second UFC fight. We got a veteran versus incoming matchup, trying to cement his name a little bit more with a win over Alex Morono, who we all know. 3-3 in his last 6 as well. So that's a good stack. He's been finishing people more lately, though. 2 TKO wins in 2024. So he's feeling TKO. He's feeling fiery in those hands. And he's never been knocked out. They have a couple things in common there. Should be a great night of fights. I'm really looking forward to every fight on the card. As usual, though. There's nothing new there. I did my part, got the word out. Not exactly the most beautiful or delicate work like our friend Aaron, who you may have seen in the comments, a very talented digital artist, a poster maker himself. We'd not elicit his help this time, but we got the word out. He got the word out. Did you get the word out? Who did you tell about UFC 313? We're all missionaries for the UFC. You didn't hear? What fight are you most looking forward to? What do you think will be the biggest upset? I will give you my answer for that. Fighting nerds, people, I know you're going to come for me on this one, but I think that the biggest upset potential would be with Bobby Green. Okay, and the fight that I am most looking forward to is tied with the main event, as many people, but also with the lightweight matchup between Jalen Turner and Ignacio Bahamondes. I think that is the fight I'm most looking forward to. Like I said, you're going to have a lot of weird sounds in that one. And that one will be so creative. It will be so creative and lots at stake for sure. Lots at stake for everybody, of course. But let me know what you think will be the biggest upset and what you are most looking forward to. Maybe it's both. Maybe your answer is both, or same fight for each. Let me know. And how will you be watching? On your couch? Out and about? Let me know. I've been watching Love is Blind a lot, so if you are watching as well, feel free to leave any of that information in the comments. Yeah,